You just have to have a wonderful agent to guide you. I feel like, and especially who has local market knowledge, there's so many things today that we're faced with challenge wise with insurance, with lending. You have to know the homes, how it all fits together.
Hey, I'm Nate Carver, and welcome to Between Two Doors.
Hey, I'm your host, Nate Carver with Between Two Doors, and today we're going to talk to a fantastic real estate agent in the panhandle of Florida. Her name is Jessica Bradley. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, good to be here.
It's good to see
Wonderful.
you. How are you doing today?
Awesome. It's a beautiful sunny day. It feels like it's cooling off a little bit in the mornings now, so it's getting close to football season.
Hey, did Pensacola Beach recently just have their Blue Angels celebration?
They did. It's always, I think, the second week in July, right after the 4th. So it was wonderful, just fantastic.
How many times have you been?
Pretty much almost every time. This year I didn't go out on the boat, but my backyard is where they do a little bit of a flyover. So I got to see them just sitting on my back patio. So that was really nice.
That's awesome. So how long have you been a real estate agent?
It's been since 2005. I started in Texas, grew up in Richardson, Texas. My dad got his license in the 70s, I think about 76. And I watched him growing up, having so much fun. And of course, it was a totally different world, but just a blast. I mean, he made it look like it was the best job you could ever have. So, and then with me, growing up, I bought everything that I lived in. So condo, when I was going to college, everything that just all played into my buying and investing and selling, and just gave me the great insight that I have. So it's been quite a while, and I love it.
Nice. How long have you been doing real estate? Been a realtor in the Gulf Breeze, Pensacola area.
In Florida, we moved here in 2008. So I got my license in Texas. Yep, for a couple years there. My aunt and uncle lived here. My uncle was a naval lawyer, so we had vacationed here since, again, the 70s, and it was a perfect fit to still have family here, be close to, my family from Texas would come visit every year, a couple times a year. And it was just, so I've been here 15 years. I started with a team, Coldwell Banker, Robin Sherman. We had a team, and I was with them most of my career here. Just started my own brokerage last year, May. So, yeah,
Nice.
Love it.
So let me ask you your very first transaction you did in real estate, was it a buy side or a purchase side?
It was a buy side, and this was in the day when you sat in the office and took phones. So I had a phone call it was in Texas, on a foreclosure. I'll never forget it. Of course, my first deal is a foreclosure, which is always challenging in itself.
Yeah. Learning curve right there.
So, and luckily having my father, I mean, it was just, I couldn't have been in better hands. We were at Coldwell Banker Residential there in Richardson, and he was a first time home buyer. It was a cute little couple, and I'll never forget it. I mean, I can picture the house in my head and remember the whole thing. It was wonderful. I mean, obviously challenging. Probably the best thing you could have as your first deal.
Right. Everybody wants the conventional loan with W-2, perfect income, perfect credit scores, they
Yep.
come along.
And nothing wrong with the house. No repair. I mean,
Right.
the house was a mess all by itself, so it was fun.
Brand new roof.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
we dream about that. So, when you did that transaction, you said that was their first time to buy a home. Do you remember what that was for those new now homeowners when y'all closed?
What it was as far as
What it meant to them, their excitement or their shock, getting that very first home. That's a big step.
yes, I mean they were just the sweetest and cutest couple ever, and I know it was a great neighborhood. They were so excited about starting a family, and even their mom ended up a year later buying a house from us too. So it was just that whole family feel of, and everyone becomes friends. That's mainly the reason why I love this job so much. I literally, every client I have, we have a connection in some sort, and we just remain friends forever. So
it's awesome. You maintain those relationships.
yep.
Yeah, it's personal. It's personal. The whole, even on the lending side, it's not just numbers. It's it's people's finances and their.
And it's life changing. I mean, it's the obviously one of the biggest things that they do in their life. So
We moved to Florida. So, okay, what did that transaction, even it being a foreclosure and the challenges that come with those, what did that mean to you? Closing day, everybody signed those documents, and you step away, you leave the title office. How did you feel?
oh, just awesome. I mean, it's so, I don't know, satisfying. I mean, you feel like you've literally made a difference in someone's life, and it's a great feeling. I mean, every time, every transaction, every buyer, it's the same every time. It's never gets old, that's for sure.
Nice. I love it. So fast forward to today. How in your real estate business, you're a broker, and you open up your own shop. Your goals from day one as a real estate agent to now, I'm sure, have changed. You've got a family. What drives you now in real estate?
Well, now I feel now that I'm kind of on my own, I can give even more quality time to each client or customer. It's, when you're with the big companies, there's a lot of push for volume and quantity. And I felt like it was harder to give as much of myself as I could for each and every transaction. So now I feel like it's a weight off my shoulder. I'm not, under the pressure of everything else, and I can focus on each and every person individually. So it's a different world. It's a different world. So I love it. I hope to continue to grow. I don't, it's just, again, it's the personal touch that I can do, being focused just, on the quality, not so much the quantity.
Do you work a lot with veterans or active duty military?
Most of my clients are probably, gosh, I want to say 95%, just because we have the 5 naval bases and Air Force and everything around. A lot of them are come back after having been here years ago. Many of them are just going to be here for 3 or 4 years. But yes, lots of veterans, and that's obviously, one of the best loans you can get, really. Yeah. So yes, lots of veterans and love it. They're wonderful. I have a seller right now who just moved to Japan. So we're having to communicate that way, it's fun. I mean, it's fun to see him going on to his new station and helping him get his home sold. That's under contract right now. So that's good.
Oh, good. All right. So when you take your real estate hat off at 5 o'clock every day, I'm joking. But
yeah, right.
So I know you're available a lot. So
yeah.
when you're not doing real estate, what do you love doing? Your passions outside of real estate.
So I say accidentally. I got into triathlons years ago with my old broker, Robin Sherman. Her husband was doing triathlons, and he said, "Oh, you should do it." I said, "Oh, I swam when I was young, and so I thought, oh, this will be great." Started biking with him, tried swimming, and realized it's really challenging. Anyway, long story short, once you start, you can't stop. So for probably 7 or 8 years now, I either swim, bike, or run every morning. And this, obviously Gulf breeze I can ride my bike to the beach and back. So it's just perfect for any kind of water sports, Also love surfing when we do get surf here, very rarely on the Gulf of, we call it the Lake of Mexico a lot, but
how many times have you gone out there and you're with your board, you get past the sand dune and it's just glass. The water is just as smooth as glass.
Yep. No, it's, we, but again, there's more surf here than there is in Texas. So
there is. There is. And that beach ride, the highway out on the beach, to ride that on your bike, that's one of the best rides.
It's
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous ride. Do you do the fun runs out of McGuire's?
I do. I try to do as many as I can. It's yes, the triathlon team that I'm on, we run for Favor House and Gulf Coast Kids House. So we have charities that it's a great team. Gosh, a ton of really, really great athletes. And that's what we run for, the cause, or we race for a cause.
All right. Tell me a little bit about both of those charities.
Gulf Coast Kids House they're both nonprofits who help children who've been victims of domestic violence. So just a wonderful company that they take them from start to finish. They have all their, they just are wonderful. And then Favor House is for domestic violence. So for the victims and families, and they help shelter and get them back to work. And yes, so 2 wonderful Pensacola nonprofit organizations here.
That's awesome. And I'll tell you, this is probably the reason I love doing these podcasts the most, because you find out, things outside of real estate world, which are important, but then you find out that you're involved in 2 charities that do wonderful things, and the relationships that I have with my real estate agent partners. If I don't ask this, I don't know. And, and finding that kind of stuff out and getting that kind of word out to people, I just think that's wonderful. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So what would you, I'll try to craft an idea, brand new buyer, first time home buyer, what would your recommendation to them be to help them successfully purchase a home or navigate finding the right home for them? If you could give them just one piece of advice, what would that be?
You just have to have a wonderful agent to guide you. I feel like, and especially who has local market knowledge. There's so many things today that we're faced with challenge-wise, with insurance, with lending. You have to know the homes, how it all fits together. and for their needs. There's again, we have the insurance challenge here, so there has to be components in place on that house that will help them be able to get insurance. And I think one of my clients said, "You're just the most honest person I've had plenty of realtors, but you stopped me from buying something that I shouldn't buy when you could easily have just let me." And I think that's the problem. We want people to have what they want, but we also have to say, hey, this is the truth of it. This is the pros and cons. And you've got to look down the road and make this the best investment you can, because I just can't see you coming in 3 years and saying, Jessica, why did I do this? That's just not a good place to be for a buyer or a seller. You just have to make, good informed decisions, and have that knowledge and the guidance from a really great agent.
Right. You're right. So if someone is looking to move to Northwest Florida, how would they best be able to get a hold of you?
Well, cell phone is usually text or call. It's 850-501-9009. You can email me at jessicabradleyrealtor@gmail.com or visit my website at findemeraldcoastproperties.com.
All right, folks, there you have it, Jessica Bradley. If you're looking for someone that is connected to her community and knows the area, reach out to Jessica. I'm going to have her links, her contact information down below. And it was fun learning a little bit more about you today, Jessica. And I look forward to doing this again with you.
Thank you. I do too. Thanks for having me.